Life's tough making a living in a travelling circus. 2 or even 3 times a week, the whole show must be dismantled, ready for the move to the next town. And tonight is one of those nights. Even before the music of their last performance has died away, the 15 artists join the 3 backstage staff to take down the big top and all that goes with it. They're like a family. Everyone knows their own job. They've done it so often that very few words or instructions are needed. They're often pretty exhausted. They may have already done 2 shows today, but unbelievably, the whole circus is packed away and ready for the road in less than 2 hours. They'll be off at the crack of dawn. Life is hard. Of course they have to work in all weathers, but the sight is always impeccable when they leave, and the locals are sorry to see them go. But a few miles along the coast, the sun is shining in all its excitement, because the show is coming to town, and life's a circus. John Lawson marks the exact spot for the centre of the ring, and all the vehicles wait. Once the extremities of the big top are clearly marked, the drivers know exactly where they must park, and like a strange mechanical ballet, everything moves into the right place. Once all the vehicles are in position, there are a few home comforts to attend to before the build-up starts.
Bloody water mine instead of that. Well, that's all right.
A friendly neighbour, or maybe the local council, will supply a tap, and the circus is happy to meet her and pay for the water they use. This ingenious contraption ensures that all the circus folk can keep the tanks in their mobile homes topped up. This circus is very much a family business. John Lawson invited us into his beautifully appointed and comfortable mobile home to tell us a bit more about it.
Well, my dad started the show. My dad was a real character. And he fell in love with the circus because of the animals, to be honest, and then said one day I'm going to start my own circus, and he started we're small now, but started a much smaller circus with just the family and some ponies and a llama and dogs and snakes and what have you. But he died very young, unfortunately, at 60, and so I sort of took over then, and the family have been running it ever since.
Whilst we have been chatting, the team has started to unload. And Chris Freer, probably better known as Cakehole the Clown, is measuring around the circumference of the tent and marking the places for the steel pegs. There are over 80 of these, and some of them have to be sunk over 2 feet into the ground. These are hard enough to hammer in, but others have to be driven in even deeper with a special tool. And when it's time to move on, these are terribly difficult to remove. They may have given up having animals, but John manages to collect together an amazing collection of talented artists. Ivan and Vala Ditchev, for example, have an act which displays a remarkable skill of balance and control.
Dance, baby, dance!
The teams are continually developing different skills, improving their performance or forming new acts, which they present under their own names. Here you're watching the Deltai troupe from Hungary performing their comedy acrobatic routine, but one of their number, Claudia, is developing an act on her own. She opens the whole show with her hula hoops.
3, 4, and 5! Ladies and gentlemen, with their amazing hula hoops, Miss Claudia!
Two other members of the Delta troupe are Paulie and Gabriella, who perform a sensational trampoline act in the second half.
Music, we're getting faster. And now, ladies and gentlemen, watch closely as Pitsy Paulie will now attempt a double forward somersault off the trampoline.
But we're jumping ahead a bit because these skilled artists haven't yet got a tent to perform in, and the building of it has reached the tricky bit, which needs the help of the full team. The trailer with all the bits is now parked next door to where the two main masts are to be set up. You'll notice that the red poles to support the sides are already laying on the ground where they will be needed when the tent is raised over them. The hinged base plates of the heavy main masts are pinned into the ground, the correct distance apart, and the masts are winched up as one with all their support wires already attached. And when they are fully upright, these wires are tightened and adjusted to hold the masts in place. The lifting wires are attached to the top platform, which is then winched up to the top of the masts, bringing the whole tent with it. This is the crucial part of the operation, because the safety of the audience and the aerial acts who attach their complex equipment to this platform depends on the fact that it is totally secure. One of Claire Marie's 3 appearances in the show is an aerial act, and she sure needs to know that that rope is connected to something solid. So does Angelo. He's only 20 and the 6th generation of the circus family. He performs amazing stunts on both the wrist straps and the cloud swing. Assisted by her long-term partner, Jason Hill, in her second appearance, Claire balances a razor-sharp sword on the end of a dagger which she holds in her teeth, and for a finale, balances a table laid for 2, including wine and lit candles, on her head. Not a drop of wine is spilt. Attila the Ringmaster introduces Claire's 3rd appearance in the show.
Because right now, you're about to meet the fastest Western act in the business, the Nevadas. Yeah, the Nevadas! And around we go! Ladies and gentlemen, the Nevadas!
Claire seems a modest young lady. She had to think for a long time when I asked her if they'd ever had an accident.
Not a direct hit, no. Sometimes they bounce out of the board and like spin around with the board and catch you, but not a direct hit on that one.
What a way to earn a living. Well, the tent is well underway. The poles for supporting the sides are being fitted, and the main body has been laced around the masts. Now they can start getting in the tiering for the seats, the ring itself, the lighting, the props, and all the other bits and pieces. By the way, that little van on the right is the clown's dressing room, containing the costumes and props they need for all the quick changes they have during the show. Paul Carpenter and Mr. Popple, the white-faced clown, showed us what was inside.
This is where Keiko's pet snake lives. There he is. my trumpet, this is my hat. Also, we have all our costumes. This one is my newest, I've just started wearing it this year. This is the coat style with the lapels. This coat actually belonged to Attila's father, who was a white-faced clown many years ago. And his mother came down to the show and she said, I've got some of his old costumes in the attic if you'd like them. And it's been up in an attic for 20 odd years and all the stones had tarnished. So I stripped everything off it, give it a good wash, and I decided to completely cover the whole coat in sequins. It took me 18 months and it's got 180,000 sequins. And again,
Attila the ringmaster and the Popolinos really hold the show together, sometimes making brief appearances linking the other acts. But the clowns have the main spot in both the first and second halves of the show.
Clowning is probably the hardest job on a circus, to make people laugh, isn't it?
people think it's easy, but it's not.
That's it.
They see other people on the trapeze or whatever and they think, oh, that's the hard job, that's dangerous. But we think making people laugh is the hardest job of all, don't we?
Especially if there's nobody in as well. A juggler can just go through his routine and get the applause, but if there's nobody in the audience, you're not getting the laughs.
We rely on the interaction, don't we?
Talking about the audience, we better get ready.
Is it that time already?
It is.
We'll just go and get our makeup on.
And of course the arrival of the audience is the beginning of the buzz that affects the whole team. This is why they are here, and the reason they all do what they do. This is the part of the job that makes all the hard work, all the travelling, worthwhile. But before the show starts, the audience have to be kept happy. There's candy floss and popcorn to be sold, not to mention spinning plates. But there's time for a word with Jason Hill, who sells the electric wands, to tell us how he became a knife thrower.
A friend of mine, he had a job, a knife throwing job, and he needed 2 people, and I had about 6 or 7 days to learn to do it, so that's how I come into it, and I just carried on doing it ever since.
The show is about to start. There are 2 performances tomorrow and 1 the day after. Then the circus will be on the move again. These wonderful, friendly people are the perfect example of that strange condition that once you're infected by the show business bug, so long as you get your occasional fix of giving a performance, you become totally immune to any of the unpleasant side effects of your infection.
Finale time! Please welcome back to the circus ring, shaking out with blues, the Duo di Chevy. I'm an ballet teacher. From Hungary with their amazing hula hoops, Miss Claudia. He's 20 years old, knows no fear, the aerial daredevil, Angelo. The fastest western act in the business, the Nevadas. And it's John Wilson's circus convicts, Troupe de Four, Paulie, Gabriella, Pitsy. Last but not least, the amazing comedy talent of the Popolinos, Nicole and Popple. Not forgetting all our backstage staff, Sammy, Johnny, Lucian, our tour manager Georgia, and our sound and light technician, it's David.
Two or even 3 times a week, the whole show must be dismantled, ready for the move to the next town. And tonight is one of those nights. Even before the music of their last performance has died away, hang on a minute, I think this is where we came in.